Welcome to the explainer video for poetics and poetic structure. This video will briefly explain what poetic analysis is, why it's important, and how to find your way around our resources. To understand poetic analysis, consider the difference between going for a hike in nature with and without a map. If you don't have a map, you might enjoy the beauty all around you for some time, but eventually you get lost and disoriented. See, the Psalms are not just random collections of beautiful lines. They are intricately crafted journeys with rising tension, turning points, climaxes, and all kinds of rhythms and patterns. Just as a perfect hike in nature has steep climbs, shaded valleys, peaks and viewpoints, and places to rest. In the Psalms, every single word is carefully positioned right where it is to move you forward through the psalm. But if you don't have a map guiding you through, you get lost, you get disoriented, and you can end up missing all the beauty. Our poetic analysis provides you with that map. There are 4 parts to our poetic resources. This video will introduce you to the first 3, the at-a-glance visual, the poetic macrostructure, and line divisions. Poetic features, the 4th part, has its own page and explainer video. Our at-a-glance visual is the most simple and clear map to the psalm, arranging the psalm into sections and subsections, including icons and main emotions for each section. This at-a-glance visual is presented and explained in detail on the psalm overview page, but it's also included here, as it corresponds closely to the more detailed poetic macrostructure. You can expand the at-a-glance visual by pressing the at-a-glance button at the top left of the page. In the poetic macrostructure, we map out the complete poetic structure of the psalm in all of its detail. This analysis is based on all the detailed patterns, repetitions, breaks, and connections in the text. We show how each section and subsection is bound together as a unit, and how each section relates to every other section. We track poetic patterns like inclusios, chiasms, repeated roots, sound repetition, staircase devices, and much more, as well as engaging closely with the work of other scholars. Beneath the visual, notes are also included explaining the overall structure and addressing other key points. Now, the second part of our resources is line divisions. All scholars agree that Hebrew poetry is written in carefully arranged lines, usually with about 3 to 5 words in each line. Together, these lines are arranged into verses. However, it is not always clear to know where the breakup of the lines is. Take, for example, Psalm 11, verse 5, and compare the NIV and the NLT translations. The Lord examines the righteous, but the wicked, those who love violence, he hates with a passion. And then the NLT, the Lord examines both the righteous and the wicked. He hates those who love violence. Here, where you position the wicked at the end of the first line or beginning of the second line completely changes the meaning. Does the Lord examine the righteous in contrast to the wicked, or does he examine the righteous and the wicked? To resolve these issues, we examine all the internal evidence within the text itself and all the external evidence, like the Hebrew reading tradition and ancient manuscripts. This line division analysis is then presented in our line division visual, which lays out clearly the lines grouped into verses and the number of words in each line. This provides the foundation for the macrostructure visual explained above. We hope you'll find these resources helpful as you dive into the poetry of the Psalms. You can learn more about our poetic analysis in the separate poetic features video. And for more information on our resources, our methods, and other layers, you can see our user's guide.